All right, 8:16, there may seem to be no shortage of holidays celebrating Women Mother's Day, an easy one in May, Equal Pay Day on April 4th, and then International Women's Day is March 8th. Today is Women Equality Day. It's more than just celebrating women, it's more about commemorating women's history, in particular, the passage of the 19th Amendment, which gave most women the right to vote. And while women have made some extraordinary political and professional strides, did you know that in 2015, women working full-time in the U.S. typically were paid just 80% of what men were paid? According to the American Association of University Women, that gender pay gap is even worse if you're a woman of color, you're a mother, and you're older. This morning, we're going to talk about some of the unnecessary risks too many women take with their money. Joining us, Dan, our money man, former Wall Street maven turned finance teacher, Ashley Fox. Thank you both for joining us in this special edition of Cashing In, right?
Great to be here. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, let's start with you, Ashley. You worked on Wall Street. Did you notice some of those gender pay gaps, maybe people treating you a little differently because you were a woman in maybe a male-dominated industry?
I wasn't conscious of it. I think more of it was about how I felt. So I would think, oh my gosh, I'm a woman. I was the only African-American on my floor. That was a woman. And so I think it was all in my head. I didn't personally experience it, although statistics do show that men make more than women. But for me, I think it's more focusing on how you can be better, how you can add value, and not be so conscious of the disadvantages that may be relevant today.
Dan, you and I just talked about this the other day when I came to see you.
Yeah.
Women are outliving men, which means we got to make smart decisions.
Demographic perfect storm. Statistically, women will outlive men. Statistically, women have less money saved than men. That is not good, right? That's just not a good equation. So you're absolutely right. There are some special investment considerations that apply to women that don't necessarily apply to men. We need to understand what they are. And women, you need to take control of your financial destiny.
So let's start with 401k. That seems easy, right? You can invest in that. Company matches it sometimes. Are people being smart about those investments, or do you think people know enough? I know myself personally. I just saw Dan the other day, and I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. You always hear invest money in your 401k, but you don't really know what you're doing with it. Mutual funds, stocks, bonds, that kind of thing.
So I think it's a good resource to have, especially if your company matches you, because if your company matches you, that's free money. I think we should be conscious. I mean, if I ask you, how much of your money do you care about?
All of it.
So you should know where all of it is. And so I think us being conscious, asking our employer, what are the fees in our 401k? What are our fund options? How have they done over the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? But definitely take advantage of it, because especially if they give you free money. But it is a way for you to set money aside unconsciously and paying yourself first before you even get your money in your bank account.
And Dan, we just talked about that too. What do you think is the biggest mistake women are making?
So there's two things, I think. The first is you got to be in it to win it, right? So start early, as in your first job, guys, right out of college or right out of school. You want to get in early, right, Ash?
Yes, yes.
The second thing you want to do is make sure if you're younger, you're appropriately invested. You can take more risk. If you've got 30 or 40 years to go to retirement, it's okay to load up on stocks.
Yes.
Forget about what's happening in Washington, D.C. today. It doesn't matter.
Right.
What's going to matter is over the next 3 or 4 decades, your returns will be better than cash or bonds.
Right.
If you're a little bit older, Ashley will tell you, you want to dial the risk down a little bit, right?
Okay.
So that's, it's basic, but Wall Street wants to make this very complicated. Why? So they can charge you high fees to uncomplicate it. You don't need to pay high fees. Learn the basics. Get some value out of it.
Ashley, do you tell people you can't rely on a man to take care of your money? A lot of women, I'm just being honest, a lot of women just assume my husband's in charge of the wallet at home, and so they kind of take a backseat approach, not necessarily thinking about the long-term effects of that.
I think, again, we have to own our responsibility. Our money is our money. It's great to have assistance, but I think what happens when something goes wrong? What happens when you guys may break up? It's your responsibility to take care of your household, to take care of yourself, to pay yourself first, and then take care of everybody. So I definitely think it's a good luxury to have, but you've got to take care of you. You matter.
I work with women every day, very successful women, and I will tell you, Ashley, what she just said is incredibly important, because all of a sudden, maybe you're running a household, you're running the family, you're the chief operating officer.
Right.
Something happens, a divorce, a death, all of a sudden you're the chief financial officer.
Right.
You don't know where the checkbook is. Ladies, get engaged now.
Got it. That's good advice. Really quickly, I know we were going to speak about side jobs. A lot of women of color having to get more side jobs. that's a good thing to sort of supplement your income, because I think Ashley always says millionaires have 7 streams of income.
Right. So that's one thing I take heed to. But it doesn't mean that they have 7 different jobs. I think we're so focused on having money now, when we've got to ensure that our life is greater later. And so it's putting things in place, whether it's creating a business. But you don't always have to go out and make more money just to spend more money. We got to pay ourselves first, like I always say. Set money aside, take care of you, but work smarter, not harder.
Perfect. Thanks for taking care of
I
me.
love it.
You helped me out. He helped me big time this week, Ashley. But I went in and asked for help, right? I wasn't scared.
You are already ahead of the game.
Yes.
I love it.
We're so proud of you.
I know. I'm staying single with no kids. That's helping.